She could destroy 14 years of his life with a single click, but he had no idea how far she was willing to go. Some betrayals cut so deep that they reshape your entire understanding of love, trust, and justice. This is the story of how one woman discovered the true cost of devotion, and made sure her cheating boyfriend paid the ultimate price in the only currency he truly valued. It started like so many modern love stories do, in the digital realm of RuneScape, where two souls found each other across 1,500 miles of distance. She was 17, he was 14, and somehow their connection transcended the pixels and quests that brought them together. What began as friendship bloomed into something deeper, a long-distance relationship that would span 5 years, countless visits, and dreams of a shared future. But love, as they say, can blind us to the warning signs that seem so obvious in hindsight. For years, she was his lifeline. While he spent his days immersed in virtual adventures, she worked 60-hour weeks as an industrial meteorologist, sending money across the country to keep him afloat. His rent, his food, his games, she funded it all because she believed in their future together. She believed in him. The first crack in their foundation appeared when she couldn't cover his monthly rent. Life had thrown her unexpected expenses, car repairs, state bills, the weight of supporting two people on one income. When she gently explained the situation, his reaction was swift and devastating. "I don't want to live with my parents again," he sobbed into the phone, his voice thick with panic and accusation. She tried to help, reaching out to his father to arrange a warehouse job, $15 an hour, simple work, a chance for him to contribute to their shared dreams. But when she presented this opportunity, his response revealed something that chilled her to the bone. "I don't want to work in a warehouse," he declared. "I don't want to work at all." The audacity of his next words would haunt her for months. "Maybe you should work harder. Get a second job." As she collapsed onto her bed that night, tears streaming down her face, she almost ended it then and there. Almost. Instead, she chose forgiveness, a decision that would prove to be her greatest mistake. Months passed. He moved back with his parents, eventually took a retail job, and their relationship found its rhythm again. She continued spoiling him with games and money, believing that love meant sacrifice. When they finally arranged for him to visit her, pooling their resources for 4 precious days together, she thought they had weathered the storm. She was wrong. It was a single Discord message that shattered everything. While he showered in her bathroom, his phone lit up with a notification that would change both their lives forever. "When are you gonna leave here?" The world stopped. In that moment, she felt something inside her die, not just love, but the very essence of who she thought she was. The woman who had sacrificed everything for this man suddenly saw him for what he truly was, a stranger wearing the mask of her beloved. But she didn't confront him. Not yet. Instead, she did something that required superhuman strength. She smiled. She watched him play his precious game, made conversation, and even let him sleep beside her one final time. When he reached for intimacy on their last night together, she politely declined, all while her heart turned to ice. The moment he fell asleep, she became a detective in her own heartbreak. His phone revealed a truth more devastating than she could have imagined. 6 months of betrayal, hundreds of thousands of messages, conversations that began right after she couldn't pay his rent. He had shared her most intimate photos, called her emotionally abusive, and systematically destroyed her character to justify his infidelity. Morning came, and she woke to find him at her computer, playing RuneScape and eating her food as if nothing had changed. The familiar sight now felt like a mockery of everything they had built together. But still, she maintained her facade, showering him with affection one last time before driving him to the airport. Their goodbye was brief. He had no idea it was forever. The drive home was a blur of tears and rage. She kicked her bed frames so hard that the wood split, a small release for the fury building inside her. But as she sat in the wreckage of her bedroom, a cold clarity settled over her. If he valued his virtual world more than their real relationship, then that world would become the battlefield for her revenge. She logged into their shared account first, the one they had lovingly called their baby, built together over years of collaborative play. They had always joked about splitting it 50-50 if they ever broke up. Well, she took her half, and gave his half away to random strangers throughout the game. Every last coin, every precious item, scattered to the digital winds. But that was just the beginning. His main account, 14 years of dedication, thousands of hours of progress, lay vulnerable in her hands. She had the login credentials, trusted with access to help him train his farming skills. Now, that trust would be his downfall. She liquidated everything. 8.5 billion coins, his entire virtual fortune, appeared in neat stacks on her screen. But what to do with such digital wealth? Giving it away felt too merciful. She needed something more poetic. Her friend who collected burnt food provided the perfect solution. "Burnt spider," he said when she asked for the most useless item in the game. Spider on shaft, burnt. Completely worthless. She bought 6,000 of them. 6,000 burnt spiders, the most useless items in RuneScape, now filled his bank where his treasures once lived. But she wasn't done. With the remaining billions, she treated herself to a shopping spree that would have made him weep, for years of membership, expensive armor, weapons, and supplies for her own account. His life's work, transferred to her in an afternoon. Then came the masterstroke. His account wasn't just any account, it was pure, meticulously maintained with level 1 defense to optimize combat effectiveness. She leveled his defense to 6, permanently destroying the build he had guarded for over a decade. His house, a magnificent virtual mansion that had cost billions to construct, was dismantled in minutes. His friends list was cleared after she, posing as him, confessed to cheating and expressed pride in the betrayal. And finally, the cherry on top, she changed his username to something that would announce his shame to the entire RuneScape community. When he discovered the devastation, his reaction was everything she had hoped for and more. Hateful messages, pictures of him crying, desperate pleas for mercy. She responded with a single, dignified message ending their relationship and warning him against future contact. In the end, she had done more than destroy his virtual possessions, she had given him a lesson in consequences that no amount of grinding could ever repair. For a man who had chosen pixels over people, who had valued virtual gold over real love, there could be no more fitting justice than watching his digital empire crumble to ash. Sometimes, the most devastating revenge isn't physical, it's understanding exactly what someone values most, and taking it away forever. She had supported him, loved him, and sacrificed for him for 5 years. In return, he had betrayed her trust, shared her intimate moments, and planned to abandon her for someone new. But in the end, she was the one who walked away with everything that mattered, her dignity, her strength, and the satisfaction of knowing that somewhere, a cheater was staring at a bank full of burnt spiders, finally understanding the true cost of betrayal. Some lessons can only be learned through loss. And some losses are so complete, so perfectly crafted, that they become legends whispered throughout the digital realm, a warning to all who would mistake kindness for weakness, and love for foolishness. In the game of hearts, she had played to win. And in the game that mattered most to him, well, she had already won that too.